Well, Stephen, not like many, mining companies that we've spoken about many times here, they haven't done well as their peers in the market. Patrice Motsepe's African Rainbow Minerals has reported a 13% drop in profit in its full-year results, citing lower metals prices and rising operational costs for the decline. The miner said the drop in iron ore and platinum group metals earnings was partially offset, of course, by high coal and manganese prices. Joining me now is the CEO, Mike Schmidt, to elaborate further on their performance for the year. Mr. Schmidt, thank you very much for joining us this afternoon. Quite a year for the group, African Rainbow Minerals. Please give us the highlights for you for the past financial year.
Xolani, hi. Great to meet again. Time goes so quick. So if I had to single out maybe 4 highlights, I think our increased cash position and much improved financial position, notwithstanding some of the challenges you've alluded to. The second highlight, I think, is the dividend. We've managed to increase our dividend from last year, and the dividend yield is a nice record for us at 13%. The third issue, I think the acquisition of the Xolani mine is something that I think is a highlight in this year, and we're actually acquiring the keys to that operation within the next day or two, and looking forward to execute and build that mine. The last thing, I think very importantly, is our ability after a long period is to settle our coal loans, and we should see good cash flow coming our way over the next reporting period. Those are my 4 points. Thanks, Xolani.
Mr. Schmidt, you highlighted quite significantly the impact that costs that actually rose in your operations, driven by freight, explosives, diesel and other goods, was actually very significant to this performance. Where do you see this cost going in the next year?
Yeah, so maybe just to put context to that, Xolani, the most prominent inflationary cost we experienced over the last reporting period was diesel and explosives. And most of those are as a result of disruptions and supply from a global market. So there's a lot of uncertainty out there. However, I think we would see some level of stability going forward. I would be very surprised if it continued in this manner, but we do monitor this with the utmost caution. That is predominantly what impacted our cost position this year.
And let's talk about something else this year. Since the last time we spoke, Russia has invaded Ukraine, and of course you jointly own the Nkomati operation together with Russia's Nonikel, a Russian-based company. What are the challenges or any backlash that you have faced as African Rainbow Minerals because of your association in the past few months with a Russian-based company?
Yeah, so Xolani, no, thanks for that. We had already gone on care and maintenance with the intent of putting closure to the mine over time. The context behind that was that the open pit hadn't reached the end of its economic life. The underground resource, whilst quite big, requires a significant amount of recapitalization, and it requires the right volume, and we had to be and we still need to be certain about the long-term fundamentals and market outlook for nickel per se. So those were the issues that were under debate. We are currently on care and maintenance. It is being funded by our partner, NNA, which is Norilsk Nickel Africa, with their domicilia in Mauritius, and they are obviously supporting the care and maintenance, and that's where we stand. I don't see any challenges with regards to that, Xolani.
Let's talk about nickel. The prices are quite high, and you believe that they are actually elevated and they will not maintain these prices for much longer. What does that mean for your operations as you plan for the next year?
So, yes, the prices today, the spot price is good, but the long-term consensus price is still below 8. Now, from an economic point of view, the underground resource needs a higher cost than the 8, based on the volume constraint it has through the shaft system, based on the expensive underground costing that's required, and certainly it does need a sustainable price. So that is why the mine is on care and maintenance and consideration for ultimate closure. So there's no decision from the partners today to reopen the mine at Xolani.
A question that I ask captains of industry from time to time about how South Africa's economy is performing. You've already touched a little bit on inflationary pressures that also impacted on African Rainbow Minerals. What are your thoughts on what's important for the South African economy in the coming months?
Now, obviously, like many other countries and global countries, we have also got our challenges. I'm not sure, I don't think we need to debate them. Where the mining industry is largely affected is that we are driven by an export, and the logistical constraints that we have seen have impacted on volumes and cost. We are working very closely with government and with Transnet, and I am cautiously optimistic that we'll see a positive road forward. We'll see improvements in those volumes. So, no, I as a miner, I'm optimistic things will improve.
And tell us a little bit about these new plans to invest almost 15 billion rands in platinum projects over the next 3 years. Obviously, these are labor-intensive projects, and a lot of people will be looking for employment around those operations.
No, it's a good point. And you know, I think in a time like this, all of us have some obligations to the unemployment crisis, and pleasingly, we'd be able to respond to that with these projects. The two projects you're alluding to, we announced the Merensky project at Two Rivers. That's a 5.7 capital investment over the next 4 years. That has commenced. It's on target, on schedule, and we will deliver into the market those ounces. The other one is, and quite pleasingly today and tomorrow, we actually pay the acquisition price of $3.5 billion for the Bokoni assets. And then over the next 4 years, we intend to invest in the region of $5.5 billion, recapitalizing that mine. And combined, this is a good opportunity for employment in the first place. But the Merensky and UG2, or the PGM basket we're mining, we believe has a very attractive future, very good future. It's part of the green economy. It works with us in terms of the stringent emission standards, and certainly we believe it will play into the ever-evolving hydrogen economy, which is on our doorstep. So I believe this is going to serve ARM and its shareholders very well.
Mike, that's all the time that we have this afternoon. Thank you very much for your time. Mike Schmidt is the CEO at African Rainbow Minerals, having announced today they are spending almost 15 billion rands to create more jobs in 2 platinum operations for the next 3 years.